clubs. Today I'm going to take you through what I call back-to-backs. It's a series of paired exercises that are specifically paired together to mechanically realign you. If you've been sitting for too long, they complement each other really well. You can take the two exercises, perform 2, 3, maybe even 4 sets of each back-to-back as a quick wake-up or a body break. You can also string them all together. We're going to do 5 back-to-backs today for a great, effective full body workout. Okay? First back-to-back, squats and pull-aparts. The only thing I need is my body and my band. Let's start with the squats. I'm going to place my feet shoulder-width apart, align myself nice and tall, glutes firing, abs firing, shoulders down and back. Deep breath in, 20 of these, off we go. 1, 2, pushing nice and evenly through both feet, ensuring that the balls of my feet and the heels are pushing down into the mat, strengthening through the ankles and the arches. Full extension of the hips all the way up and through, and engaging the abs, especially at the top. Let's do another 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, nice deep breath on the way down. 6, breathe out as you come up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Beautiful. Take the band right in front of you, a little wider than shoulder width. Deep breath in, initiate the movement with the shoulders, and pull apart. Hold for a moment and squeeze. Get right into that low back. Number 2. Moving a little slower on these ones, because that specific pattern of movement is so important. I want to ensure that I both begin and finish the movement with the shoulders. So I start by drawing the shoulders down and back, finish by again drawing them down and back. Arms are nice and extended. And as the shoulders move together across my spine, I'm careful not to allow the low back to arch as well. So I've got a little bit of engagement through the glutes, lots of nice engagement through the abdominals. We'll go 2 more. And last 1. So that finishes the first back-to-back. So again, if you're taking a quick body break, you're going to go back into the squats, back into the pull-aparts, 2 sets, 3 sets, maybe even 4 or 5. 4 to 5 minutes, you're done, head right back to your desk. If we're doing the full workout, you would finish your sets and come right into back-to-back number 2. Back lunge and a counter push-up. Just going to put my band here because I am going to use it in my next set. I'm going to start with my weaker leg. You'll notice that I don't have shoes on just because I want to work a little bit on my ankle and foot stability today. You can take a bit of the balance out of the equation, be a bit more stable with your shoes and just rock out the strength portion, or try with your bare feet as well if you prefer. All right, left leg forward, we're going to do 10 on each side. I reach back, I'm looking for 90-degree angle in both knees, number 2 and 3. For me, to help me with my balance, I like having a little spot to look at in front of me, keeping the body nice and tall, thinking about engaging the left glute to drive right back up, abs nice and tight. We're going to do 4 more on this side. Breathe in here. Exhale, full extension of the hips. 3 and 2 and last 1. I'm a little unstable on that leg. That is my weaker leg. Let's see how we do on the right. Same thing. Center the foot, drop the shoulders down and back, and 10 on this side. 1. Always a little wobbly the first one. What you may find, what you should find, is as you get through these pairs, they get better and better. The mechanics of them complement each other so that as you go, each individual exercise becomes a little bit more stable as you wake things up. So let's do 4 more on that side. 3, find my spot to focus on again. 2, abs are engaged, and 1. Terrific. Your push-up can be off the floor, coffee table. I'm going to do mine today counter height. I love this. It's a little bit easier for me so I can really focus on the mechanics of my shoulder, which is really important for me these days. My shoulders are way too high. So here I'm going to drop my shoulders down. I'm going to ensure my abs are nicely engaged. I'm going to reach with the sternum Never the face, deep breath in. Let's do 10 of these. And 1, 2, shoulders down every time. 3, nice and even through both feet. 4, hips are nice and square. 5, 6, 7, feel a nice gentle stretch through the chest as well. 8, 9, and 10. Fantastic. There's back-to-back number 2. So again, run through it again. 2, 3, 4 sets, and then let's move on. Back-to-back number 3. So here we're going to do a one-legged squat. This is such a good one if you're a cyclist, runner, or just someone who's trying to work on your knee alignment and the strength through your hip and your glutes. Again, I'm doing this in my bare feet, so it's going to be a lot more challenging balance-wise. Feel like doing that today, but there's other days when I want to put my shoes on and just work on grooving the movement. So one-legged squat, we're going to do 10 of these. Look for a spot, maybe about 6 to 8 feet in front of you. We're going to focus on that. You don't want to drop your head down too far, but you do want something that you can look at to help you balance through the movement. And here's 1, full extension of the hips through the top. And 2, thinking about those abs and glutes firing is going to help you with that balance, as is the breathing. Number 4. And 5. These are tough today. 5, 6. But again, as with the lunges, these are going to get easier and better with your subsequent sets. So the set 2, things are going to be a little more awake. Set 3, things even more awake. And the movements will actually get better. Better quality, better neural activation, better mechanics. Whew. Again, I did my weaker leg first. Get it over with. Let's see if I'm any better on the right. Good, here we go. 1. All of you doing this with me are probably rocking this out right now. Not nearly as wobbly as I am. I don't know about anyone else, but it has been so hard for me to stay on top of the strength moves. I'm running and hiking, but this stuff always seems to fade into the background and suddenly the day is over. Certainly finding this leg a little bit easier on the right side. 3 more. 3, careful not to allow that knee to cave in. 2, and last 1. Okay, the pair for this one is a seated row. So I'm using my resistance band. I've attached it to my side table. I brought my side table over. Little trick, I did have to put about 7 pounds worth of books in the basket. And then I also, you'll notice I've put the foot of the table on my yoga mat so that it's not going to slide. Seated row. Now you could do this kneeling if you wanted. I'm going to do it off of my sit bones. I'm going to sit nice and tall. Careful that I've got a neutral spine, so not allowing the back to either arch or curve too much. Stack that thoracic and cervical spine right on top. Nice deep breath in. Begin the movement with the shoulders. Row and hold. I'm going to hold that for a nice little count. 2. So that little isometric hold, that 3-second count at the back. Gets a little more neural activation. It gets a few more muscles involved. It ensures I'm not shrugging or just using my biceps, but I'm really driving with the shoulders. And because I don't have a weight stack to put on this band, it's going to give me a little more bang for the buck, right? So I just get, it makes it a little bit harder. I've got more muscles firing. I'm using my brain to make it harder. And again, pull. I think this is number 10. We're going to do 20 of these. Is this movement with the elbows closer to the body, a little bit easier than the pull parts because we get a little bit of a contribution from the bicep. We get a little more into the lats with this lower pull with the arms nicely abducted to the sides, close to the sides. That's what the lats do, sort of abduct that arm as well as pull back. Nice little bit of abdominal engagement. And again, keep thinking tall through that body. I could feel myself there. I was leaning back a little bit. I want to stay nice and tall. Almost insert your chest into the movement. Let's go 3 more. 3. Last 2. And last 1. There you go. Okay, there's back-to-back number 3. Number 4, we're going to go right down onto our face into a modified lat pull down. There's a lot of focus on the back, on the posterior chain here, because most of us are sitting down too much. For those of you that are on your bikes now, you're in this position too much. Even if you're running a lot, we tend to shear forward a little bit. So we're going to do a modified lat pull down, and we're going to back-to-back that one with a hip bridge. So I'm going to go right down onto my back here. This is a beautiful one for opening up through those hip flexors and starting to get a little bit of activation through the posterior chain. I'm going to drive my elbows down into the mat, push my heels down into the mat, and the back of my head down into the mat as well. So I've got a nice gentle activation through the muscles that support my head, all through the cervical spine there. Actually feels really great. So we're reinforcing that nice tall posture. Abdominals and glutes, back of the head, shoulders, elbows, heels. Here's number 3. Deep breath in. 4. We're going to do 20 of these. 5. Can pick up the pace a little bit or we'll be here all day. 6. 7. Good. I love this one. 8. It feels so good to stretch out through the hips and activate that back. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13, nice and even through both legs, ensuring the hip bones are nice and stable. They're parallel to the ceiling. Keep thinking about gentle pressure, back of the head, back of the shoulders. Keep that chest nice and open. We'll do 5 more of these, and then I'm going to go face down into my lat pull down. And last one. Terrific. Okay, let's roll ourselves up. We're going to flip around. Now when I come down into this position, I'm going to be flat down on my back. I do want you to think about engaging through the glutes and the abs to ensure that this doesn't get into your low back. I'm going to keep my forehead down on the mat, but I'm going to try and lift my shoulders up a little bit and do the pull down like this with my hands in line with my ears. Now for some of you, that's not going to feel good. You're going to want to leave your hands right against the floor and keep the pull a little bit in front of you. It's a better place for your shoulders. Some of you are strong enough, you're going to feel like you actually want to lift a little bit through that torso. You want to extend through that thoracic spine. If that feels good for you, go for it. Again, we're trying to activate through the muscles, through the back, around the thoracic spine, and into the backs of the shoulders. So down I go. I'm going to back myself off a little bit. My arms are going to reach to 90 degrees. So the movement does look like this. You don't even need to use the band. I'll just turn my head. You're not going to turn your head, but just so you can hear me a little bit better. Activating my glutes, activating my abs to ensure that this is nice and tight. I've got some hamstrings and thighs activating as well. That's totally fine. What that's doing is stabilizing my lower body so that my low back isn't going to fire too much, okay? I'm going to keep my forehead down. I'm going to grab on here and then leading with my shoulders. So again, shoulders down and back. Lift my hands a little bit off the ground so that my hands are in line with my ears. And here's pull 2 and pull 3. And I really notice I do need to activate the abdominal as I pull down. Make sure you're doing it on both sides. So right between the ribs and the hips, through the side. And again, for some of you, it may be more comfortable to have the hands down. For some of you, you may actually want to lift and pull here. It's going to allow you to get a little bit more into the lats. So we're going to do another 10. I'm going to relax down because I find that just a bit too tense through my back. Pardon me, through the back of my neck. Here we go. So we're going to do 3 more here. 3. And 2. And last 1. And relax. Wonderful. So there is back to back number 4. Quick stretch. Little bit ringing through my low back there. I'm just going to give it a little stretch. Okay, I promised you 5 back to backs. The last one, we're going to alternate between a quadruped hover. Love that one. Again, shoulder, abdominal stability. Get into the quads a little bit. And a side plank with a hip extension. So I want you to think about the side plank definitely through the shoulder, a little bit through the lats, through the side of the abdomen and core, but it's also a really great one for working that hip thrust or hip drive. So in some ways, it's a little bit like a one-legged hip bridge and a side plank combined. I want you to think about your one-legged hip bridge because I want you to ensure that you're using those mechanics, right? So just a quick review. If this was your one-legged hip bridge, it looks like this. There's one on the right side. There's one on the left side. Do you want to come down and do one of those with me? Go hip extension up. Just warm up to make sure you're getting in there. Go on the other side. Hip extension up. Okay, terrific. Now, when you roll over onto your side, I want you to think about that movement, how we did that hip extension. So I've got my elbow in line with my knee here. My hip is back a little bit, and what I'm going to do is drive forward with the hips. Neck is nice and long, and then I'm going to sink back and drive. If you find this really easy, you're going to take that leg activated on top. So here's number 3 and number 4. Whew, these are tough today. 5. So I've got nice stability through the shoulder. 6, definitely loads of firing through the glutes, through the side of the abdomen, and definitely a little bit going on this side too. 8, 9, full extension through. So I've got a nice straight line when I finish. Number 10, let's hop onto the other side. So again, stack knees in line with my elbow, drop that shoulder down and back so I'm nice and stable through that shoulder. Brace, ready, and lift by extending the hips through. There we go. Drop back and extend. And let's add that leg for number 3, keeping those thighs nice and parallel. 4, nice and long through the neck. Breathe in. 5 and 6. Sorry, I feel that a little bit in my shoulder. There we go, there's better. 7, I want my shoulder right on top of my elbow, right? 8, 2 more. 9, last one is 10. Nice. Okay, good. So ideally, shoulder bit through the side of the abdominal and right through those glutes is firing. Then we get down on all fours. Loads of different ways of doing this one, but today we're going to do 10 of them with a nice strong breath out and brace every time I lift my knees. So 10 of these. Ready? Deep breath in. Draw the shoulders down and back. Exhale, brace. 1. And again. 2. Good. Little bit of stuff happening through the shoulders, lats, nothing through the low back ideally, please. A little bit through the lap and definitely through those abdominals. Lots of stability through the hip. Number 5. Here we go. 6. And 7. Good. And 8. 9. One more is 10. And take a break. So that was back to back number 5. So again, play with those, but try them out in pairs. You can do the full set, so 2, 3, 4 repetitions of the 2 pairs back to back, back to back, back to back, 3 to 5 minutes max. Use it to break up your work day. You're sitting far too long at the desk. Elongate, activate those muscles that make you feel tall. Or again, use the whole thing as a full body workout. You could do a single set of each. It would be great, right? Run through it, probably 18 minutes, done. Out the door, really good. Add in a second, third, or even fourth set to make it a little more serious. Thank you so much for coming from my home to yours.